Welcome back. Happy Thursday. Glad to have everybody here, or those that will join in the future. Hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that you guys also have had a wonderful week. I we missed last week because I was down sick. Um, so fun to just sort of dive back in, and I'm sort of coming up with the content that I need. Here's Mark joining me now. What's up, Mark?
Hey, what's up, man? I need to change my name. I'm not Andrew D.
That's so true. Identity theft, my guy.
I know. I'm sorry.
Not
You got
cool.
me.
Not cool, bro. Okay. So what I want to cover today, which just give me a second because I need to eh, I'm trying to create content for us so that we can actually have content in the app that we're working on.
How do you go
So
about creating content?
oh what? ChatGPT and then up CSV upload into Firebase? What? What?
What?
Me? No, not me. Not me,
That's
not me doing
awesome.
that. Yeah. So uh we are we're gonna go through I created a tutorial on how to create custom select options in FlutterFlow a while back. And in that case, I used a component and a component state, and you could like toggle on and off the component state, but it doesn't work in every scenario. And I've had numerous comments ask me like, how do you do multi-select? Like, how do I, have a select all, and can I select everything in the list that is visible? And how do I do that? How do I go about it? And then we ran into this issue in this current application that Mark and I are working on, this prayer and Christian journey application, let's say. And so I wanted to cover that in a live stream, and then I'll turn it into like a 5 to 10 minute FlutterFlow tip video later. But this will allow me, I haven't had a lot of time throughout this week to spend on fun stuff or on teaching because I have a lot of work. So Mark asked me to help him with that, and I wanted to do it, and I just haven't had time. Since other people are interested in that, and since it is like a very common use case, right? You have a table, you want to select all, you want to do something, you want to make an action on some of those things. So we're going to do that here. Before we dive into that, I'm going to just finish my content if possible. Oh no, did I quit my Safari? No, please. Okay, good, good, good. All right. Um,
No, it's true because I was trying to do that select all thing, and then what would happen is that it would select it, but then the components wouldn't update.
yeah, yeah. All right, let's see. All right, just give me a second because I need to.
No worries. Take your time.
Da-da-da-da. Okay.
Good morning, Daniel. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, Daniel. Prayer point. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, list document reference. Okay, that's what I need. That's what I need. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just gonna copy these references over to my list. Come on, dude. Copy and paste. Yes. Paste values only. Paste format only. I want all of them. Online. Okay. What is peace? Defined in scripture. Yes. Come on, dude. Sorry, guys. Um,
Kein Problem.
sometimes Google Sheets. Okay, so Mark, why don't can you showcase what we're building if you have it in your browser?
Oh,
So
let's see.
that would
I'll
be great.
pull that.
Sorry, I was gonna have more time for this, but Styles woke up at a weird time, and so
Hmm.
I had to spend 20. Well, I
It's
had
all
to.
good, man.
I got to spend 25 minutes with my boy.
Yeah, see, it's a blessing, and
Yes, it
it
is.
happens. We gotta be flexible.
Yeah,
As the rent, perrientos. It's gonna take me a couple minutes to actually
it's
uh,
okay.
put
We'll,
this up.
I'm just gonna upload it. I'm gonna download this and then I'll upload it and then we should be good to go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is, or what I have been doing as we've been talking is I've created, and this is a great example of what you can do for your application. I essentially go to ChatGPT. I have it come up with some content for me, especially for like dummy projects or sample projects. I'll have it come up with content for me, and then I will have it format it into a CSV file. And then in the content manager for FlutterFlow, they have the ability to upload a CSV. And so I'll just upload the CSV and then I'll
Honestly,
automatically.
I would love to see your screen, like you doing that,
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
visual
yeah.
of that. It'll be sweet.
All right, well, maybe we'll do that. Let's see. This one, 906, yeah. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
because I wanted to make some dummy content when I was doing this for the journeys part. And I
Yep,
was like, oh man, I want to query the journeys.
yep,
I need some dummy content. But I didn't feel like going in to manage content, in the
yep.
collections and just, typing it in each field at a time. I was like,
100%. Okay, I will show you this. Give me a second. Let me
cool.
update my settings so that this is this one. Boom. Okay. All right. And I will share my entire screen. I Okay. So we have this. First, I'll show FlutterFlow, right? So we have this. We have journeys, and essentially what we're creating, guys, is like a, a learning system, right? A learning management system in FlutterFlow. And I say it because essentially what we're doing is we're creating content. That content will have lessons associated with the content. So a journey is like a course. So I explained it to Mark using No Code UI as the base, right? My platform, No Code UI, I have courses, Firebase Basics, Get Started, FlutterFlow 101, right? That's a course, and then there's lessons in there. So what do those lessons look like? Those lessons are each a document. Those documents are associated with so in this case, we have journey lessons. These journey lessons are associated with a journey or journeys. Um, and so you can participate in a journey. The next thing we'll have is a user journey, right? So that user journey will be tied to me and tied to this journey. And then we'll be able to track progress of that user through this journey. Um, so
Yeah, I'd
I'll,
love to
I'll,
see how you do that.
I'll probably create that during this time.
Um,
So this is one of the two things we want to cover, right? We do want to cover the multi-select. We're not doing that right now. What we're doing right now is just coming up with some content and yeah. Anyways, so I'm going to show what I do. This is my journey. This is my Firebase schema, right? I've already created 3. So here in my journeys, I've already created 3 of these by just uploading a CSV, right? And we're going to do the same here. We're going to upload a CSV, select a file. This one's 906, the proper one. So we're going to say number of rows. I have 19, so we'll say 19. And we'll upload CSV. What I've done, no, this one needs to be a string.
That's crazy, man.
So yeah,
So easy.
pretty sick, right? So we'll upload this, and then we will have a reference. So here, right, I have this journey doc ref. And so what I did was I came over here to my journeys. I copied the document reference and just pasted it in this one so that I could reference it in the database. And then I'll validate and import. This should work. We don't have any weird fields. It doesn't allow us to do data types. And sometimes date time stamps are pretty weird. But overall, we have our, oh, shoot. I hate that in the browser, man, the back button. Anyways, so.
Oh, like when you're swiping with your fingers? Yeah, I just turned that off because I kept
Yeah,
going back.
yeah, I need to do that. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have our journeys, we have our journey lessons. Now we should be able to see this in our actual application. So I'll go back to my FlutterFlow project, and we will, I already have this running. Come on now. There it is. All right. We want our simulator. Okay, so this stuff is static right now. I think Mark, oh, I left my project. Unbelievable. All right, I'll start testing again. Yeah. So this is now, this should now be our data. Okay, so as that's up and running, let's go ahead and tackle the other point that we wanted to tackle, right? We wanted to tackle a multi-select list. Okay, and so we have, I'm trying to find this is the prayer select. I think this is what we're using, prayer point select list. So this is what you created. And we have a component state here. And we have a parameter here is selected and an action. Okay. So this action is going to allow us to interact with this thing in the page that we place this. So create view, create prayer. Sorry. Here's my modal. I think it's a modal.
Yeah, it's called modal select
prayer. There you go. So this is what we are doing, right? We have this modal here. Dude, this is so weird. I feel like I'm way off. We have a modal. We have the ability to select prayers. And this is what it looks like in the actual app, right? So we have the ability to select prayers. And currently what this is doing is updating the prayer state component. And since we want to interact, we want this select all to select all or to toggle off and to unselect all. Now this gets tricky because we have also, right, we have the ability to, oh, that's good. I just broke it again. We have the ability to filter by these twist chips. So we're going to be managing a couple things. But what we need to do, and this is how I'm going to tackle it, Mark. So right now we're handling the toggle state of this component because this is a component.
Yeah.
We're managing this based off the component state. Okay. I don't want to do that. I want to manage the selection of this just off of the is selected parameter.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it then better just to never use the component state for a Boolean?
I don't think so. I'm gonna say no to that. But for this scenario, we're going to be interacting with an app state. So we should be able to toggle. And the reason why this won't work, the component won't work, is because the component state is initialized. When it is initialized, it'll set that. Okay. So as we're viewing the prayer points here, these components have already been initialized, right? So they're not going to change. The state of these are not going to change because we're not reloading them. If we were reloading them, then they would change and initialize again. But what we want to do is we just want to pass something in to them. And just by passing something in, this Boolean is selected. We should be able to update the look of these by the toggle. And I think you already have the toggle set up where you select this and they're added to the list, right? Yeah, sick. So you've already accomplished the hard part. So now we get to,
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's probably worth a good look over. This look-see over.
We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. But yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to dive into this prayer point. So as I said, we are utilizing, I'll sort of explain, give some background to this component. So this component, we pass in a prayer point document. We want the ability to add this thing to a list. This can be added, this can be anything, right? Dude, I don't know why All right, I'm just gonna like refresh. My simulator is being really buggy right now. I think it's because I'm in and out and changing stuff when I shouldn't be. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're gonna just we have a conditional builder here that says, hey, when this is selected, showcase this, and when it's not selected, showcase a checkbox. Okay. This conditional builder is based off of the component state, because that's what I told Marc to set it up as. And so we're going to, instead of doing that, we're just going to set it up towards this parameter. Okay, so that's the first one.
Okay.
And so this update component state, we're going to disable that for now. All right, we're going to say do the action. Okay. I just did this with
disable it and not just delete
the
it?
component state. The component state, because we may utilize it somewhere else later. So we'll just disable it for now. And I want to make sure that this works, right? So component, this condition builder is based off of the parameter, not the state. And as we have an action, an execute callback here. So this execute callback is going to be present here. Okay. So this contains item. If it contains, I'm going to name these actions. So I'm going to say, if the list contains item, remove from list. List. And if not, add to list. All right. All right, maybe this should work now. Yes, looky there, see? These are live. Now you just need to hook up the data for the image. But yeah, that works. Sick.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the data hooked up to the metadata for the avatar for that.
Oh. Okay. I added a cover image to this, so I'm gonna do
Okay.
that.
Cool.
Sorry.
No
We're
worries.
gonna
Yeah, I
cat.
was thinking, I was like, should I add another image? I was like, oh, but it's already in the metadata. So
Yeah, you're right. We'll do that, and then we'll pass this. Oh, nice. We are passing that journey doc. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm all over the place. All right. So in this, let's go ahead and see if we can update. Let's see if this will still work, right? The single select update. Let's make sure that that works. Okay. So I'm going to refresh and yeah, I just want to make sure. Yep. Okay. It should. Perfect. Sweet. Okay. And now let's see if this select all. Nope. Okay. So what we need, well, this select all is not working. So let's see. You have an
yeah, it
action
doesn't work.
here.
It doesn't work on the when the category all is selected. Only when other categories are.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. Let's see if this will work. Family. Select all family. Oh,
Hey, come on.
we already did it. We already did.
That's cool.
That's sort of cool. I did a terrible job explaining what we did because it was sort of pre-built. But I'll explain this action. How about that? Because this is the thing that we'll need to do. What we're doing in order to showcase this, and what we'll need to do is reset this as well. So there's two things that we'll need to do here because this is a very unique case. Usually you're just pre-selecting, all the elements in a list, right? But right now we are pre-selecting filtered data. So let's see, we have a checkbox toggle on. Nice, you have a loop action, let's go. This is exactly what you should have done. Update component state, current index 1. This is perfecta. Okay, but I'm gonna name these. So I'm gonna say start adding to list. Okay. Update prayer item, add to list. So what we're doing here, we're saying, look, when the current index is less than the total number of items, continue doing this action, okay? So, and then we're adding, we have an app state where we have total prayer items as a list of documents, okay? So we're gonna update that list. And so what we're doing here is we are adding prayer item to list. In this component state, we're updating the index, current index. This is great. This is great. So this is exactly how you would do this loop action, right? You want the prayer item to be added, and then you want to update the index, and then you want to add a prayer item, update the index, add prayer item, update the index. And then that's what this loop, right? This loop will actually get to the point where it completes the loop. So, and then this is resetting the current index. Nice. Reset value current index, and we'll go over here, toggle off, removing items, and we'll do the same thing. Remove prayer from list. All right. Decrement. Yeah. I think that works because we're just removing and increasing. Reset index. Cool, dude.
Was that update component state on the remove? Was that decrement or was it increment?
It is increment, but it works. You are incrementing. You're doing the same thing. You're just removing stuff from the list. So, okay. So now what we need to do is we need to showcase this toggle. The initial value needs to be set from a variable, right? Because as you can see, we have select all, but not everything is selected, right? So we have family and we have global. So we want this to, what we probably want is, we want this, let me think, sorry. Trying to make sure that this is correct. Because this is actually really good. This one is really good. Adding this adds a sixth item. That's great. But as we add the sixth item, right, we should have this select all. We shouldn't have that. Oh man. All right. We may have to play around with this.
Yeah. See, that was the thing is like, because that removing the items comes from when it's a toggle off. Right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
like, how to
Exactly.
make sure that it's toggled on when all are selected.
Yeah. And also, this, like if we added this would add 10 items to the list. Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
We don't
Or
want to
even
do that.
if you selected say 4 out of 5,
Mhm.
and then you click select all, it's going to add 5 and not that last one.
Yeah. Yep. So what we probably need to do is we need to check. This is more complicated than I was anticipating, but we need to check the list and see if the reference exists. If the reference exists, don't do anything. If the reference doesn't exist, do something. So in that loop action,
Yeah, that makes sense.
we need to add a conditional. Cut this action. Okay. That condition will be component state, no, app state, total prayer items, perfect. We have a data structure field in here for total prayer points. Okay, list contains item. And I think we'll do, where are you getting that? Where are you getting that from? Aha, this one.
Yeah, it's
item at.
dynamically set on the list.
Okay.
Dynamic children or something.
Okay. Give me a second. What we probably need to do is we need to set. We need to be able to manage that. So we need to set this list view, not from the parameters, but from a component state. So we can access the component state. Okay. So we're going to say parameter, set these into the component because we want to update that component. So we want to say all prayer items. We want document references. Yep. Prayer points is list. Okay. Okay. Prayer points, and we're going to update document, update component state on initialization, all prayer items, set value, bring in the prayer points, map the list items, reference. Okay. All right. And so all we're doing here, we're saying like, hey, we're passing in prayer documents, which is great. We need these prayer documents, right? We need the topic and the prayer title and the description. We need all of that. But we also need this component state where we can edit stuff. So we are going to set a document reference. That's all we need. We just need the reference, because all we're going to do is we're going to make a condition based off of if the prayer list, right, in the app state contains this prayer item. Okay. Does that make sense? Sort of.
Sort of.
Okay.
Brains
So
process.
this is good. We're going to change this prayer point. We're going to change this dynamic children list from the parameter to, so I'm going to do this, copy this, because we need that, to the component state. Oh, no, we don't want to do that, actually. Sorry, apologize. We don't want to do that because we actually do want documents here. But what we want to do is on the filter of these choice chips, we want to add the prayer items that will be viewed to the component state. That's what we want to do. Okay. And then we can check, right? We have a list, and we can also manage this pretty well. Because then we'll just add that list, right? If it doesn't contain, we'll add that list, and it should work. It should work even for the all. So I'm just going to say update component state, prayer list items, set value, prayer point documents, filter list items. Yeah, and I'm gonna paste that filter here. Map list items. And we just need the reference. All right. Cool. And I'm going to do a second. I'm just going to make sure. Sorry, I'm going to see how many items are in this list. So I want to make sure that this works. Per items, number of items, 0. Okay. Current items. Base. All righty then. We have a conditional action. All right, let's go ahead and set that up then. We have this conditional action. So the condition action will be prayer point document, list contains, so we don't need that, component state, prayer items. Okay, so we want to start with the app state. We want to go back to that total prayer items, data structure field, total prayer points, list contains, component state, list, item at index first. Okay. And we'll apply opposite statement. Okay, so what this should do, hopefully, what this should do is check to see if the current item at the end, right, the first item at the index, because we're increasing the indexes. So, you know, and we're adding them to the list. Okay. We'll see. We'll see if this works first. I think we'll need to, this is a lot more complicated than I originally thought. I apologize.
If it works, then I'm gonna need you to go back over it real quick.
Yeah.
Give me a synopsis or something.
Cool. All right, so we did that. We're gonna do this prayer thing again. Prayer, current items. As we come over here, there's 4, there's 1, there's 2. Nice. So our component state is updating. Sick. All right, that sort of worked. So it should have added small group. Should have added this guy too. All right, first. All right. So we're gonna do a condition. Instead of index equals first, that index will equal the item in the list. Sorry guys, this one's a little behemoth.
That's a
I wonder
doozy.
if there's an easier way to do this, or like an easier way to. I mean, really, just the select all. That's what we should work on. Select all on the list, right? You do have this. This is great, but I think the select all is the most common scenario. You know what I mean? We probably should have the ability to clear all as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So since we're using the component list, the component state for the list, right? We should be able to match the app state list with that component state list. Okay. And here we have 10 items. 8 of them are selected. So we'll just unselect them all.
And how are they being added to the component state again? Like how are they going from the list into the component state without you clicking on them?
And so we have 2 states. We have the app state, which is our total prayer items. We have our component state, which is the list of items that we are currently viewing here, right? And all we're doing with that component state is we're saying, these are the document references that we're currently viewing, right? So the selection is happening at the app state level.
Mm-hmm.
The component state we're not utilizing right now beyond the fact of, hey, when we select the filter, we're adding, what does that look like? What does that document reference? How many document references are there? That's what we're adding. So we should, so this is working. That condition we have is working because it did not select them all, and it should have selected them all, right? So it's just working wrongly. It's stopping at that first index, so it's not adding both of these. So let's see. See, this is why I said I would come up with this, and I would create another one. that's a shorter video, because we've spent 36 minutes on this. That, I don't know, it's just random.
Yeah, Yeah,
We did get it to work. I mean,
yeah,
like the initial thing, we did get to work. We're just, we're updating these things. You can toggle this, and it can select everything.
yeah.
But again, we set that condition to where it's only going to toggle. It's only going to turn these on if that list doesn't contain the item, and it's stopping at that first index. So let's come over here.
So because the condition is above the loop condition, correct index, or like,
No, we want it to check every time. So
oh yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, we want it to check every time. So let's see. List contains item first index. No, we're gonna say list contains item. I want to check the current index. I want the list at an item instead of first specific index. This is it. This is it. So we'll set this component state from the current index. Oh, I think that's gonna be it. I think that's gonna be it. So it was
Yeah, that's it.
it was checking the first item. That's it. And it was saying, boom, let's just do that. What this condition should do is if the list item is selected already, we're not going to add it to the list again, right? If it isn't selected, we will add it. So on this family one, we should, so like, let's say we have 2 items now. When we select all, we should have 5 items total.
You did it, man.
Boom, bye-bye.
That's cool.
Yeah, hopefully that makes sense to everybody.
I think the only thing that I'm still, I think, stumped on is the on initialization.
Yep.
How are you getting those prayer items onto the component state?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we have a parameter here, right? With all the prayer documents.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we are adding all of those prayer documents that we have. We're passed in here. There's a list of documents. So we're passing those into the component state right here on initialization of this bottom modal. So that's where we're getting it from. And then when we filter these, right, we are also updating that list. So we're constantly updating that list. We're basically saying, what is in view here? Okay, cool. There's 4 in view, there's 2 in view, there's 1 in view. And so we're able to check that, able to check those 2 things. We're saying like, hey, does the app state list contain this document reference, right, in the component state? If it does, don't add it. If it doesn't, add it. Right? We're doing a comparison. We're doing a comparison of the 2. So
no, that makes sense. That's really cool, man.
nice. Nice.
Well done. I think the only other thing is then it
Select
needs
all.
to be, yeah, or the select all, but also if all are selected in the list, the toggle needs to be on.
Okay, okay. See, that is interesting. That's a comparison of multiple. So we have to have like list contains items, right? Maybe a custom function, because we sort of have to say like, right now it's just list contains item, right? At an index. We'll see. First, let's do the select all.
Yeah.
So I don't know why this isn't working to begin with. Like it should work. Current index. Let's say that. Okay. Yeah. Why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work to begin with? Current index, number of items. Are you setting? No, that wouldn't make sense. Okay. Current index, component state is set. Prayer doc, filter list items, choice chips. Aha, this is it. This is where it is. Filter list items. So we need to set that same condition here. You have category equals choice chips, right? But we also need that null value. So the same thing that we are doing in this list view. We have this condition filter, this. Let me copy that. I need to add it over here. So, okay, or all. We had no condition for the all.
Yeah, that was it.
So, and we probably need to do that on the remove as well.
Yeah.
So, see, and we would have just been prompting this all day anyway, so. Yeah, I could probably figure it out a little faster than I could. But that's okay. All right. So 0 items. Nice. Select all. 10 items. Come on. Come on. That's great. So let's see. We're going to just select a couple of these, right? 2. So we should still have 10 when we select all, right? Because that we did that condition. Instead of adding all of them there, we should just, oh, come on. Come on. We did it, man. We did it. But yeah, you're right. Now we just need this condition, you know. We need to say, look, are these, can you hear me? You froze. Am I froze? We have no commenters. Are we, chat? Are we doing, does this all make sense, chat? Chat? Boom. Nice. Yep. Okay. I hope so. I really like this decision. So I'm gonna do a short recap of what we're doing or what we did and why it's working and yeah, why it's working. So we are querying a list of items. Okay, we're querying a list of items. We're passing them into a modal. We query on that action. We're passing in a list of items. This can work with a backend query. It doesn't matter, right? You just need the query to be above the select all. Okay, you just need the query or wherever you're getting your documents from to live above this and above this. Okay, so you can't do a query on your list here because you have no access to that query here or here. You could do a query on the container if you wanted to, just all prayer items, boom, all good. The way Marc has set this up with a parameter for list items works really good because then that allows us to set the component state on initialization. So we have this ability to do this comparison, right? We have all the prayer items in our app state. We have all the prayer items in our component state, and we can say, look, does the app state contain this certain prayer item? Okay, cool. We're going to trigger something here. Now, what we've done is we have these custom list elements that have the ability to change or update the state, right? We're not updating the state. We're updating this parameter that we're passing in here. So I'll move Marc and I out of the way so you guys can see. This prayer item has a is selected Boolean, and that's what's changing this. Okay, that's what's changing the selected state, right? And the selected state is triggered from the app state. So the app state has a list of prayer documents. If the app state contains this element, show selected. If not, show unselected. That's important, okay? Doing this from a parameter rather than a component state that lives in the component, because that only changes on initialization. So that you need in order to make this select all possible, right? What we're doing here is Marc has set up a loop action. In order to set up a loop action, you need a condition, okay? The loop action will continue to work until a condition is met. So we have, and Mark, you did great with this. Really impressed. Superb work. You have a condition.
Thanks,
right?
Andrew.
Yeah, dude. Is how I would set it up. So we need an index, and this is usually how I do a loop action, right? This is exactly how I do a loop action. You have an index, and you'll just increment that index every time the action is complete. And then once that action is, in this case, right, saying, hey, is the number of items, where is this coming from? Yeah, cool. Is the number of items that we're viewing in the list currently the same as the index? So here, I'm going to go back here. We have 2 elements, right? So we're viewing 2 elements. So when we select or unselect, we want to make sure that we're selecting or unselecting 2 elements. So we're doing, that's what the loop action is. That's what the condition does. The condition says, hey, list index, current index is 0, add 1, add 2, right? We're incrementing that current index, and then it stops. So as we do this, right, toggle off, we are unselecting these. This is perfect. And again, we have a it's just a checkbox widget. So we have toggle on or toggle off. So on toggle on, and then we were checking. So what was happening before we implemented this condition was we were just adding the number of elements, the number of items to the list. So it didn't matter on this family one, right? I have 1 selected here. There's 4 in the list. So when we press select all, it was just adding 4, adding all 4 of these to the list again. So we had duplicated document references in that list. We did not need those. So what this condition does is it's saying, hey, does the list, the app state list, contain this item? If it contains this item, skip it. Don't add it to the list. If it doesn't contain it, add it to the list, right? So here we have 1 item selected here. There's 4 items that we're viewing. When we add select all family, we should add 3 items to the list. And as you can see, that's what we do. Now our total items is 4. Perfect, right? We're still doing current index, and then we're resetting the value. I love that. This is a perfect example of what a loop action should look like. Superbe, right? This is great. Now, we have current issue. The current issue we're facing in this application that we would probably fix before launch is when we toggle these on, this is still pre-selected. So we need the ability to set this from a variable saying, hey, is this current item, are the current items contained in the list, right? The app state list. If they're all contained, then toggle this on. If they're not all contained, toggle it off. I'm not going to do that now because I don't know how to do that. I'll ask ChatGPT later. But I think this did work, right? This idea did work. We wanted to showcase what it looks like to select all in a custom list or unselect all, and we did that. So Mark, great work. I think this is super cool. Let's see if we can click into one of these, and this is what we need now. We need I'll update this. Well, we can update this component and the journey page. So another thing that we mentioned was Firebase, right? I wanted to touch on Firebase during this live stream. And so here we have it. We have a home page, and this home page has the journey. At the beginning of the live stream, we went over what a journey is. A journey is a module that has a number of lessons in it. And we want to click into this and view the journey details. Let's see. Yeah, journeys. We want to view this journey details here. Currently, we are facing a rendering issue, as you can see. And that rendering issue is most likely due to an expanded issue. So let's see. We have this set to a specific height. That's good. I want to make sure that none of these things are expanded. And I bet you right there, our expandable is expanded. And this one, no. Oh. All right. So we should be able to reload now, and we should be able to see this. But let's go ahead and set this from our journey doc. Okay. Now for y'all, we're gonna always cache images. I always cache images. Yeah, I just always cache them. It's gonna be better load time. So as you can see here, we have the ability to sort of view these things and start. And that one's still buggy. I wonder if the stack here is no. Aha, there it is. Container is expanded. See, I wish that page content FlutterFlow would warn us of that. But that's an issue you face, right? As you build, you're going to have things that don't render, and most likely it's because something is expanded that shouldn't be expanded. So, looky here. Nice, dude. Nice. Sweet. Where it all began. You have where Jesus, nice. So, and what we can do is, so here we just have a query, a list query, right? This is pretty basic stuff. So for you advanced ones, we have this overflow because these fellows are not expanded. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna move this button away from this list. So we're gonna let these elements flow. And we're gonna put this button down at the very bottom or at the very top, one of the two. Very nice. Cool. We can also add some interaction here. Some do Mark is we'll set a component or a container. We'll set up a container animation or a container implicitly animated height here probably. So
that makes sense. Yeah, I was like, as I was building that, I was like, man, I wonder what animation Andrew's gonna pull off here.
So yes, exactly. So one of these things, we have a row here. This is why we're experiencing that overflow, is because this list view is cutting content off. So we need to change this from a row to a column. See if it'll let us do that. Nice. Cool. We're just going to add this. I'm going to say this guy is bottom right. And we can even. Huh?
What? I've got a question about the whole expanded thing because
Yeah.
I had way too many things expanded. Man, how do you know is it what should be expanded and what should not be? Like I understand like when you want a container to take up more space, like that's what I normally do is expand, but it seems like it's not the right thing to do, not the right practice.
Yeah. It really is. You only want things expanded. So you can't have expanded things in a scrollable column. And by that I mean you can't have vertical expanded things in a vertical scrollable column. So FlutterFlow sometimes allows you to do that, but you can't. You know? So, okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little border radius that comes over here, a little line that comes over here. I'm going to do that with a container. You're going to see. Gotta do this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And for this one, I'm going to use an expanded container. So this is horizontally expanded. You can do this, right? You can do a horizontal expansion. 32.
Is that because that column is not scrollable?
The column, so horizontal, it's because it's expanding horizontally, which the constraint there is the width of the screen.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
vertical, if you expand something, it'll take up infinite amount of space, which will
Yeah.
break your app. So
Yeah. Makes
yeah,
sense. These are some
here,
basic questions.
hey, that's okay. That's okay. Very common. Okay, let's see. I want this to be, I'm doing this, seeing if this is nice. Nice. Oh, that's why. Well, sort of works. Yeah, it'll sort of work. Just decrease the height. Look at there. Sort of. It's sort of working here. We'll have like a little, you know, this little guy will come down, and then there's be this little line here that points to start here, and then we can just start there. There is a little bit of break here because I'm using a drop shadow for this line, but I think it'll be cool. And we won't have that issue with the overflow. So this overflow issue will leave. Let's see, this list is probably expanded. Perfect. See? And when you don't have a list expanded, you also want to make sure that the list view is shrink wrapped. Now you don't want to do this with a lot of queries because it'll really make your app laggy. But for now, this is fine, right? We have like just text here, and it's 7 elements essentially. And that's what these lessons are, the 7 elements. So we have overflow here. So what we need to do is increase that page. But yeah, I mean, this is basically it. 10 o'clock, did pretty good. So I'm gonna just increase this. Perfect. Awesome. All right, Mark. Hey man, I think we did it.
I appreciate it, man. I learned a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was a little janky, the format. Thank you all for watching. There's a lot of people on X watching or were watching. I don't know if they are still watching. But to sort of help clarify, I went over it halfway through, but we were just working on some UI stuff, passing data from a home page to a sub page, but also like being able to select or unselect all items from a list and showcase that here. So yeah, this is cool. I think this really works. Then we get to pray for those items here, and we can sort of complete them here. Add a note. Really thankful. Let's see. Thankful for Marc's support. As we exit this, boom, we completed it. Come on now. So we have a progress bar that tracks our prayer progress, and then we can complete a prayer. Pray for 33 seconds, not minutes. Hey. Thanks so much, Daniel. Thanks for joining and being the only commenter. I think this is definitely the least amount of comments we've ever had in a chat. But thank you for watching. I hope it's helpful. I'll try to make a more concise video on the select all because I think it's just such a common use case, man. And that additional nuance of checking to see if something's in the list and not adding it is like pretty cool. So
that is really cool. And when you figure out how to make sure that the toggle is on when all things are selected.
yeah, I
Like
think
how
what we use it. I
see.
think what we'll do is we'll do a comparison with a custom function. So we'll have a custom function that takes in a list of items and compares it and says, "Hey, do these match?" Right? If
Yeah.
so, then turn a Boolean on or Boolean off. So that's what
cool.
I think I'll do. I'll create a loom for you for that. So
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks,
well,
Daniel.
yes, thank you, Daniel. Thank you all again. Have a wonderful week, and may your building be successful, more successful than ours today. More concise.
Hey, ours is success, man. I
It
feel
was pretty successful. You're right. You're right. It was pretty successful.